Hello and welcome to Hughes of the World, episode 27. We are now hitting Burkina Faso in West Africa. We've been to West Africa once before when we went to Benin, and now we're going to Burkina Faso, which is just to the north of Benin. So that's nice. Neighbours there. So, hello to everyone watching. We've got Chubai there, we've got Veg Pie, we've got Lee Corn saying hello, we've got Jeremy Goff saying eop. Just trying to finish the quiz, so it's not just Mr. Hughes who is late. Jeremy, have you got your pickles question? Indeed. Mark is saying hello. Hello, Mark. How you doing? So, let's crack on, shall we? Burkina Faso. It's one of the... Oh, hang on a sec. I just realised something. You know when you have that nagging feeling that there's something you've forgotten? Yeah, I just had that. I realised that I haven't actually... teed up the map of Burkina Faso to show you the map. So just bear with me 1 second. This is it's live. It's going out live. What can I say? I'm an idiot. I'm sitting here going, well, I'm ready to go live. Am I ready to go live? I think I am. I'm not sure. But yeah, that looks good to me. Just mess around with that a little bit. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, right. Okay, back to you. Sorry about that. Yes, we've got Duke Vengeance, and this week's hue is Vermilion, a bright shade of red. Hang on, wrong show. Oh, I see. 50 Hues of Hughes. 50 Hues of Graham. See what I did there? Okay, I'll just stick to talking about countries and politics. I'm wanging on about Brexit. Okay, so welcome to another round of Hughes of the World. This week we are in Burkina Faso in West Africa. And I was there in 2009, and at the end of the show I will be sharing some of my footage from that adventure, so stay tuned. So Burkina Faso is situated in the geographical heart of West Africa. It used to be known as... Upper Volta, and it's a sort of place that captures the imagination, just because a lot of people are kind of unaware that Burkina Faso exists. It's only been called Burkina Faso since the 80s, but the people there are absolutely lovely, very relaxed pace of life over there, and there's lots of interesting things to see as well. From the deserts to there's a giant market in a place called Garum. Excellent names for places in Burkina Faso. The capital is Ouagadougou. I mean, it's the best name for a capital city in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Azerbaijan just pips them as a country name, but as a capital city name, Ouagadougou wins every time. The country too is also home to a fascinating cultural mix. They're called the Bikini Bay people. That's the people from Burkina Faso. Are almost as diverse as the terrain itself. It may be one of the world's poorest countries. Most people have to make do on less than $2 a day to survive. But it's also it was one of the most stable in the region. It was. We'll come to that. And it was quite efficient back in the day. When I was there, it was great. It's also got one of the whole continent of Africa's most important film festival, which is held in the capital, Ouagadougou. And there's also wild safaris in the south. There's the desert and Sahel region in the north. And there's enough stuff to do in Burkina Faso to keep you going for a good few weeks if you were ever minded to stay there. But I wouldn't recommend a trip at the moment for reasons that I will come to. It does sound like a twee 80s pop song. It does, and there's a train that goes to Ouagadougou, and it's the Ouagadougou choo-choo. Also, the name Ouagadougou goes back 1,000 years. So it's an old name for an African kingdom, which used to be there. A flag for people with colour blindness. Yeah, indeed. I've got it the right way up this week, which is good. It's my problem with Tricolores. It's so easy to get the wrong way up. Well, I suppose people get the Union Jack the wrong way up a lot of the time, but yeah, nothing to do with me. Anyway, sadly, the situation in Burkina Faso has been deteriorating for the last 6 years or so. And, being as things are, it's not on my to return to list. It's not at the top at the moment for various reasons, which, as I said, I'll come to. So let's go to the map, so you know where it is. Map. Here's the map, and here's the map. This is the map of the world, actually. But there you go. That's all planet Earth there. If you're stuck for knowing where things are, there's the United States of America. There's South America. There's Africa. There's Asia. There's India in the middle. And there's Australia hiding behind there. And then New Zealand just off the coast of Australia. Just about 1,000 miles away from it. But, just off the coast. Right. So if I zoom in here on Burkina Faso and the West Africa. So this is the West African countries. As you can see, the map here actually gives you a good example of the different kind of terrains you can expect. All around here, all this lot down here, the green bit is very green. It's all very tropical and lots of forests and trees and things. And then as you head up into this area here, Mauritania, Mali, Niger, there's no green because that's all desert. That's the Sahara Desert, ladies and gentlemen. And Algeria, Libya, and Chad, going across to Sudan and Egypt. That's all the Sahara. It is mental. It's massive. Anyway, so Burkina Faso straddles the two zones. So you've got the south, which is all tropical and lots of what are those things called? Trees. And up here, you've got not so many trees. It tends to get a bit more deserty up into the north, which is called the Sahel region. The Sahel region actually comprises this whole area over here. It does actually cross the borders into Mali and into Niger. And for a long time, this area up here was kind of like a common travel area of the Sahel, and you could move about. You didn't have to get a work visa to work in different places as long as you were from Burkina Faso or from Mali here or from Niger over here. But that's not the case anymore. So if I zoom in a little bit more, you'll see the Sahel Reserve at the top here, which is suffering from, this whole area is suffering from desertification, which isn't good. Moving further down here, we've got, where are we going? We've got... Trying to find me bloody bearings. There we go. I was like, where's the bloody capital gone? There's Ouagadougou. The capital is spelled with an O, not a W. Because, French. That's Ouagadougou. It's the heart of the country. And basically everything goes out from there. Now, you might be interested to know that this used to be Upper Volta. Where was Lower Volta? Well, Volta is actually the river that runs into this massive lake in Ghana, which is called the Lake Volta. And you can see it's got a couple of streams coming into it here and another one here. There's actually 3 rivers that run from Burkina into what's now Ghana, which feed the Volta Lake. And they're all called the Voltas. There's the white Volta, there's the red Volta, and there's the black Volta. So that's why the old flag used to be those colours. But there you go. That's Burkina Faso. And the other thing you need to know about Burkina Faso is it is landlocked. I'm getting asked in the questions here in the comments opinions on Thomas Sankara. The Che Guevara of West Africa. He did a lot of good. I'll come to him in a minute. That's all you really need to know. It's bordered by Mali, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Niger. And obviously, most of these borders are open most of the time. Burkina kind of gets on with its neighbours quite well, or it used to. In the last few years, things have taken a turn for the little bit unstable, to say the least, in Burkina. I'm hoping things are going to get better rather than worse in the near future. Also, Burkina, being where it is it's prone to severe droughts, as you can imagine. And also, it is a prisoner of geography. There's a really good book called Prisoners of Geography, which is well worth checking out, which is all about countries like Burkina Faso that are damned by where they are in the world. Obviously, Burkina needs to look to its neighbours in the other countries that actually have access to the water. So Côte d'Ivoire, which had a civil war for many years, Ghana, which is an Anglophone country, and although they're supposed to be all in the ECOWAS economic area together, there is still a little bit of about countries that are Francophone versus countries that are not. That includes Ghana and also places like Guinea-Bissau, which is Portuguese. And there's usually a little bit of argy-bargy between the Gambia, which is English speaking, and Senegal, which is Welsh, what? which is French, which is francophone. So anyway, yes, that's basically the geography of the place. It was formerly called Upper Volta, as said, and the country was renamed Burkina Faso on the 4th of August 1984 by the aforementioned president Thomas Sankara, or Tom Sank, as he is affectionately known in Burkina Faso. The words Burkina and Faso stem from different languages in the country. Burkina comes from the Mossi, meaning upright. And Faso comes from the Diouala language, and it means fatherland or land. Upright land. What it means is the land of upright men. Effectively, the land of honest people. And this is a masterstroke by Thomas Sankara when he was president of Burkina Faso, which he became president of Upper Volta, and he thought, I know, I'll change the name of my country to the land of honest people. Because if I do that, it means that if you're not honest, you're not being patriotic. And I like that. I really like that. I think that's a real smart move there by Tom Sank. Well done. Clever way of getting people to be honest. And to be honest with you, although bad things happened afterwards, after Thomas Sankara was assassinated, which again we'll come to in the history. And although the government itself, the president who came after him, was not the best and probably quite corrupt, actually the people in the country, when I was there, it was I didn't have to pay a single bribe, which was unusual for West Africa. I usually had to pay a few bribes just to get around, just to, a bit of hurry up tax, and I didn't when I was in Burkina Faso. So yeah, maybe it worked. Maybe we should rename the United Kingdom the country of sensible people. That'd be nice. That's a great philosophy of patriotism. Pay attention, Boris, indeed. Graham, is there any pizza in Burkina Faso? Yes, I think there are in Ouagadougou, but there's none out in the sticks. Homo erectus. Tim Marshall books, just reading the follow-up book, Power of Geography, very good read. Yeah, Tim Marshall's very, very good. Imagine that common travel area. We have something like that in Europe. Indeed, there is a place called Rambo in the east. It's mostly peaceful, but violence can always spark unexpectedly. Indeed. Why is it not flat? Says Lee Korn. What are you talking about? Burkina Faso? Or are you talking about the planet? Burkina Faso is pretty flat. Pretty flat. It's a lot of it's desert. But there you go. So anyway, the capital, Ouagadougou, literally means that you are welcome here at home with us. That's what Ouagadougou means. I told you it was the best name for a capital city in the world. In the Burkina Faso. And yeah, you are welcome here at home with us. I love that. Obviously, it is south of the Sahara Desert, as we already discussed. The official language is French, which I should explain. It's a francophone country, owing to French occupation of the country, or colonization of the country, from 1885 onwards. The other languages that are spoken are Moray, Gomora, Fulfulde, Dioula, and Tamashek. The nationality, as I've said, is Burkina B. That's what the people are called. If you're from Burkina Faso, you are Burkina B. And the population, when I was there back in 2009, it was 15 million. Now it's just gone north of 21 million. Blimey. That's another 6 million since I was last there. Nothing to do with me. They have a huge amount of population growth. And the average number of children that a woman, Burkina Bay woman would have is 6. That's the average. So there must be some that have 1 and then some that have like 12, which is crazy. The largest ethnic group is the Mossi, which we'll talk about in the history a lot, I think. And also gold is Burkina Faso's main export, which a lot of people, I don't think they'll put that together. They go, oh yeah, Burkina Faso, they must be a big exporter of gold. But yes, indeed they are. In fact, Ghana, to the south of Burkina Faso, used to be known as the Gold Coast. Yep, there's gold there. There's gold in the hills. Anyway, and the second biggest export is cotton. Big exporter of cotton is old Burkina Faso. Now, if you're not a big fan of genetically modified crops, cover your ears. Burkina is second only to South Africa as the largest producer of biotech crops. 100% of it is the cotton that they grow. And it's had the world's second fastest growing acreage of biotech crops after Australia. The Monsanto company remains an important partner in this endeavor. Don't know if you want to know that, but now you do. Hope it doesn't make you too angry. Most food in Burkina Faso comes with sauce when you have your food in Burkina Faso, which I had pretty good food. I think I had an omelette there. That's going to sound really weird, but an omelette side of the road and just put into some bread. It's great. Spicy omelette with spices in and stuff. It's really good. Staple foods include sorghum, millet, rice, maize, peanuts, potatoes, beans, yams, and okra. Or ladies' fingers, I think they are. Ladies' fingers. I'm going to eat some ladies' fingers. Why has Boris left the chamber? I missed question time. Because he's a dick. But French, parlez-vous, François, avec moi? Oh, you want me to talk French? No. Je ne parle pas très bon français. Parce que je ne... intelligent. Bikini Bottom, indeed. And pineapple and Bikini Bottom. That's where SpongeBob lives, strangely enough. Bodge is too busy counting out his ill-gotten gains to learn from other countries. True. Honest. What? Says Duke Vengeance. Burkina Faso is also... I was going to say like 80% of the population in Burkina rely on subsistence agriculture. Obviously less than $2 a day. I mean, the GDP per capita is $786.90. That works out to about $2 a day per person. Graham, do you have a P.O. box? Says L33. I do not, I'm afraid. Maybe I should get one. Just to pay for it. If you want to get in touch with me, head over to gingerisland.com and then head to there's a little form at the bottom. Just fill it out. And I'll be in touch. I'll be back in touch. Also, in the links down here, I've actually put the link to my book. You can get my book, but it's the Amazon link. If you want a copy off me, you might have to wait a bit because I'm getting some new ones printed because Pineapple Boy noticed some mistakes in the old edition, so I've got to print out some new editions. Hopefully, I'll have them ready by the end of the month, and they'll be sending off to people. If you want a signed copy, head over to grahamdavidhughes.com, fill out the form, and send me a message on the site, and I will sort that out for you. Ok, Graham, je peux parler français. Voulez-vous je téléphoner toi pour Discord et parler en français? Yeah, do you want to call on Discord for to speak in French? No, we're just going to get through the show today, I think. I'm sorry, David. I'm a bit knackered. I know I'm always complaining, aren't I? Getting old. I'm tired. I'm talking about these countries. Oh, I don't know. In my day, these were all fields. Anyway, so back to Burkina Faso. It's a leader in African art and culture, and it hosts the largest craft market in the whole of Africa. The Bobo, one of the ethnic groups in Burkina Faso, they make large butterfly masks, which are painted in stripes of white, red, and black, which used to invoke the deity Do deity. The deity is called Do, or Do, in fertility ceremonies. The Mossi are known for their antelope masks, and the Lobi are known for their wood carvings. So if you go over there, there's lots of cool stuff that you can buy. Souvenirs, tourists, yes. 60% of the population. Oh, Pineapple Boy, £2 super chat. Thank you very much. Do get the book. It's great and a fun read. Thank you. Can you do me a favor, Pineapple Boy? Could you put that on? Could you put that on the Amazon page? Because I've had some Brexiteers right, this is the worst book ever written by a human being on there, and I'm like, oh, thanks for that. I've not read it, but I hate him. So yeah, if you would like to go over there and leave a good review, that'd be great. Thanks mate. Anyway, so 60% of the population is Muslim, so it's a majority Muslim country. 19% is Catholic, 15% are animist, and 5% are Protestants. Another tactic of the Western powers was to put different people of different cultures and different tribes and different religions and different languages, all mash them together in the one country and divide and rule, which is what they like to do, because it works. So, the currency is the West African CFA, which is what they use in Benin as well. When I was talking about Benin, I mentioned the West African CFA. Pour aller la plage. Can you go to the beach? No. I think is that what it means? If you ask me to go to the beach, no. There's no beach. It's landlocked. It's landlocked. I suppose there must be some lakes in there, I guess, with sand around them. I didn't get your book from Amazon, so it's not a validated purchase. Oh, Pineapple Boy, that's a good point. But I think you still leave a review. Someone did. They said they saw me on the Bollocks to Brexit bus, and therefore I wrote a bad book. Yeah, people right. Should we dip into the history? We're just coming up to half past. Let's go to the history. The northwestern part of present-day Burkina Faso was populated by hunter-gatherers from at least 14,000 BC. Yeah, 14,000 BC. That's when we have found evidence of human existence in Burkina Faso. The tools, including scrapers, chisels, and arrowheads, were discovered in 1973 through archaeological excavations. Agricultural settlements started around, give or take 1,000 years, 3,600 BC to 2,600 BC. And the Bora culture, B-U-R-A, Bora culture, was an Iron Age culture which emerged in the southwest portion of modern-day Niger and the southeast portion of contemporary Burkina Faso around 800 BC, which is cool. This iron industry in smelting and forging tools forging for tools and weapons developed in sub-Saharan Africa at least by 1200 BC, but we have definite concrete evidence that they were making iron tools by around 800 BC, which makes them contemporaneous with Britain. So while Britain was going, iron tools, at the exact same moment in history, it looks like the Burkina Fasans, the future Burkina Fasans, were doing exactly the same thing. There you go. So anyway, moving forward, from the 3rd to the 13th century AD or CE, if you like the Common Era, more than Anno Domini, Iron Age Bora culture existed in the territory of present-day southeastern Burkina Faso, and these various ethnic groups of Burkina Faso, such as the Mossi, Fula, and Diola, they arrived in successive waves between the 8th and the 15th century. By the 14th century, the territory of present-day Burkina Faso was occupied by the Bobo tribe, the Lobi tribe, the Gororusi tribe, and the Mossi. The Mossi, who now make up over half of the population of Burkina Faso, founded their kingdom more than 500 years ago in Ouagadougou. And 3 more Mossi states ruled over the remainder of the country, known for their devastating attacks against the Muslim empires in Mali, and also for resisting European bloody slavers in the 17th and 18th centuries. During the scramble for Africa, unfortunately, in the second half of the 19th century, the French broke up the traditional Mossi states, but they ran Upper Volta, as Burkina Faso was then known, but they saw money and resources going elsewhere. Basically, the Upper Volta was neglected by the French. It was desperately poor, and it was used for very little than a staging post for getting to Mali or getting to Niger, or as a repository for forced labour. Thanks, France. Anyway, so the French colony of Upper Volta was named for its location on the upper courses of the Volta's rivers, the black, the red, and the white, which I've discussed in the map. And then in the first president was a guy called Thomas Sanara Maurice Yameogo, and he was Upper Volta's first president, and he proved to be an autocratic ruler, more than adept at consolidating his own power. More adept at consolidating his own power than actually, managing the challenges of being the president of a fledgling state. Bad leaders, unfortunately. Between 1966 and 1982, Upper Volta suffered from a stagnant economy and a cycle of coups and counter coups. It became, in effect, Cloud Cuckoo Land, spelled C-O-U-P. What else have we got? Only the left, only left does the culture. What? Tout le monde parle France dans les messages. Pourquoi? All the world speaks French in the messages. What's the messages? The messages? Why? Why is they speaking French? Because it's a French-speaking country. Maybe Lee was late. I don't know. J'adore aller à la plage, tomber sabre et nager, c'est très bien. Okay, good. Scramble for Africa was not a charity breakfast. Thanks, Pineapple Boy. That was a good one. Is Burkina Faso openly gay? No, I don't think that there's many gay rights in Burkina Faso. I could be wrong. I didn't check that before. Should I look it up in Me Lonely Planet? I did this last time, didn't I? If there's anything you don't know, I just look it up in Me Bloody Lonely Planet. Right. Sport, daily life, food and drink, orientation, dangers and annoyances, mid-range. Oh no, that's Cameroon. I went too far forward. This is what happens when you don't prepare properly. People ask you questions and you don't know the answer to them. Obviously, this might be a little bit out of date because this book is from 2007. Dangers and annoyances, accommodation, hiking, business hours. Pickpocketing is a naughty thing. Photography and video, telephone and tax, visas for onward travel, transport, Benin, Ghana. No, I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem to be a thing about specifically Burkina Faso. However, I do know that if I head into the directory at the back of the book, sorry, this is probably really boring for you right now, but I will get back to you in a moment. I might find what the situation is for gay and lesbian travellers in different West African countries. I should have put like little things in to say health in transit in West Africa, infectious diseases, malaria, typhoid, travellers, diarrhea, language, traditional medicine, language is all French. Bollocks. It's got me little notes in it here of how to say things. Cute. All right. Sorry, I'm going to give up. Sorry. Lonely Planet, sort your books out. I don't know. It's the final answer. Okay, so gracias, Graham. No worries, mate. So over the next 4 years, where was I talking about? So yeah, in November 1982, Captain Thomas Sankara, aka Thomas Sank, an ambitious young left-wing military star, seized power in a coup. Over the next 4 years, Tom Sank recast the country. He changed the name to Burkina Faso, restructuring the economy to promote self-reliance in rural areas, launched literacy and immunisation drives, and tackled corruption with zeal not seen in the country before, I don't think ever. His ambitious socio-economic program included land redistribution to the peasants. I don't know if the peasants is the right word to use there, but that's what they said. Railway and road construction and the outlawing of female genital mutilation, FGM, forced marriage and polygamy. The economy improved. Financial books were kept in good order and people developed a genuine pride in their country. In December 1985, Sankara engaged the country in a 5-day war with Mali, which merely enhanced his appeal amongst ordinary Burkinabes. Despite his popularity, in late 1987, a group of junior officers seized power. Sankara was taken outside Ouagadougou and shot. When I went to Burkina Faso, everywhere I went, every shop I went into, every minibus I got into, every taxi I got into had a picture of Tom Sank. Every one of them. He was seen as like the Che Guevara of West Africa, and he was, or even the Che Guevara of Africa, and he did do a lot of good in his short time as president of the country. He managed to turn a lot of things around. I mean, his vaccination drive was insane. He managed to get like the entire population of the country vaccinated in like the matter of a few weeks from things like typhoid and diphtheria. I mean, it was remarkable stuff that he did. Yeah, There was a new junta, a new junta in town, and that was led by Captain Blaise Compaoré. And he was Sankara's former friend, actually, co-revolutionary of the 1982 revolution. And he was also the son-in-law of Côte d'Ivoire's long-standing leader, the late Houphouët Boigny, who wasn't the nicest of people, I don't think. In late 1991, Compaoré achieved a modicum of legitimacy when, as the sole candidate on a low turnout, he was elected president. Well done, mate. Anyway, Clement Ouedraogo, the leading opposition figure, was assassinated a couple of weeks later, convenient, in disputed legislative and presidential elections in 1997 and 1998. His president and supporters won more than 85% of the vote. Nothing to see here. He was finally forced from office in 2014 after 27 years. This started on the 28th of October 2014, when protesters began to march and demonstrate in Ouagadougou outside against the president, and he appeared ready to amend the constitution again for the second time to allow him to stay as president forever, I think, to extend his 27-year rule. People weren't having any of it, and on the 30th of October, some protesters set fire to the Parliament building and took over the national TV headquarters. Has anyone taken notes? Ouagadougou International Airport closed, and MPs suspended the vote on changing the constitution. It would have allowed Compaoré to basically be re-elected in the 2015 elections. Later that day, the military dissolved all government institutions and imposed a curfew. On the 31st of October, so the next day, President Compaoré, facing mounting pressure, resigned. Anyway, the Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida said that he would lead the country during his transitional period until the planned 2015 election, but there were concerns over his close ties to the former president, and in November 2014, opposition parties, civil society groups and religious leaders adopted a plan for a transitional authority to guide Burkina Faso to the elections in 2015. Under the plan, Michael Kafando, he would become the transitional president of Burkina Faso. Lieutenant Colonel Zida will become the acting prime minister and defense minister. After that, Compaoré was exiled to the Ivory Coast, and Michael Kafando subsequently became the transitional president of the country and was elected in 2015 after a military coup. Basically tried to take the country over for a week, and after pressure from the African Union and ECOWAS, and the armed forces, the military junta, stood down, and Michael Kafando was re-elected as acting president. And the general election held on the 29th of November, a guy called Marc Christian Kaboré won in the first round with 53% of the votes, and he was sworn as president in December that year. Prior to that 2015, there were no recorded terrorist incidents in Burkina Faso. However, the country had gone through 7 coups d'etats since it had become independent, more than any other African country, actually. Additionally, there were some reports that terrorist financing and fundraising were taking place domestically. Some argued that then President Compaoré, who was in power from 1987 to 2014, partnered with terrorist organizations. Some reports show that he backed an agreement with the Tuareg rebels in Mali, who were associated with Al-Qaeda. And in trade for operating in Burkina Faso, the Tuareg groups and associated organizations allegedly agreed not to carry out attacks in the country. In addition, Compaoré allowed special forces from France and the US to operate in Burkina Faso, serving as a key partner in the counter-terrorism efforts in the Sahel. So you've got the president bringing in terrorists from the north and counter-terrorists from the south in his country. Dickhead. That's not a very clever thing to do. Also, what's not clever is to go over to Afghanistan and Iraq and stir the pot and then kind of do it really half-arsed and not really win the peace and then just pull out overnight, like the American and British troops did the other day from the Bagram Air Base. And yes, well, you know, we got ISIS. Remember ISIS? Weren't they fun? No, they weren't fun. And while that absolute cluster F was going on in the Middle East, meanwhile in the Sahara and then the Sahel, and especially in Mali, these new terrorist groups, which was Al-Qaeda in the Sahel, were causing absolute havoc in places like Timbuktu. You also had Boko Haram, who started in 2009, based in Nigeria. Boko Haram means education is forbidden. Okay, and they started in the north of Nigeria, causing problems, and these terrorist groups all seem to, I don't know, outstay their welcome in any given country and will tend to go to other countries, and unfortunately, they will blow stuff up. In February 2016, there was a terrorist attack in the center of Ouagadougou, which killed 30 people. Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, or IQIM, and Morabituan, two groups which until then have mostly been operating in neighbouring Mali, claim responsibility for the attack. Since then, similar groups have carried out numerous attacks in the northern and eastern parts of the country, the Sahel region of Burkina Faso. If you're going to go there, you're probably going to be safe if you stay in the south, but then there have been attacks in Ouagadougou, so who knows. And basically, one attack occurred on the evening of Friday, the 11th of October in 2019, on a mosque in the village of Mossi near the border with Mali, leaving 16 people dead and 2 injured. On the 6th of July 2020, the US raised concerns after Human Rights Watch report revealed mass graves with at least 180 bodies, which were found in northern Burkina Faso, where soldiers were fighting jihadists. On June the 4th, so just last month in 2021, the Associated Press reported, according to the government of Burkina Faso, gunmen had killed at least 100 people in the Solhan village in northern Burkina Faso, near the Niger border. A local market and several homes were also burnt down. A government spokesman blamed jihadists. This was the deadliest attack recorded in Burkina Faso since the West African country was first overrun by jihadists linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State around 5 years ago. And so, yes, that's where unfortunately Burkina Faso is at the moment. A couple of weeks ago, it looks like the governments have brokered an unofficial ceasefire with the terrorist groups. They're not supposed to sit down and discuss things with terrorists. So obviously this was done behind closed doors. Don't forget the British government weren't supposed to discuss things with terrorists, but had closed door meetings with the IRA in the lead up to the Good Friday Agreement. So it's not like we can sort of claim the moral high ground here. They just want peace, and as a result of the shit that's been going on over the last few years, 1 million people are thought to be internally displaced in either Burkina Faso or externally displaced, going over the border into Niger, Mali, and to other countries. This isn't a great situation. 1.2 people need aid at the moment. 1.2 million people need aid at the moment. And the displacements have risen to 1,000 people a day in 2019. 1,000 people a day being displaced. And there's been a wall of inaction from the UN, who under the Trump regime, obviously because America is the UN, it heads up the UN. If America can't be asked with anything, then nothing gets done at the UN. Not that much stuff gets done in the UN at the best of times, if you know what I mean, but it was a particular bad time for the world because you had the leader who just didn't give a fuck in charge of America. Sorry for the swear. So yes. Anyway, so the flag. Forgot to mention the flag. The red is communism. The green is the land, which is a bit weird because half of it's desert. And the star in the middle is the star of hope and bright futures, I think. But yeah, nice flag, indeed. Forbidding education appeals to those who are harder thinking. Also great if you want a colony for resource extraction. Indeed. Looked up homosexuality. It's illegal, apparently. Great. Let's go to Burkina Faso and do gay. One more thing about Burkina Faso is famous for. It was the 100th country a famous Scouser visited on his famous Odyssey. It was indeed. And if you go to the chapter about that, about the time I was in Burkina Faso, you will find, let's have a look. I'm nearly there. You will find that the chapter is called I'll show that to the camera. It's called The Land of Upright Men. It's called The Land. Because that's what Burkina Faso means. See, you'll know that if you read my book. You'll need to watch these videos. Please don't forget to like and donate if you can. Thanks. Oh, yes, please do. If anyone wants to give a super chat, feel free. Feel free. Right, we are going to head into the end section of tonight's proceedings, in which I will be, for your viewing pleasure, I will be going back over some of the old footage that I got while I was in Burkina Faso back in 2009. Now, some of it comprises part of the TV show that I made for Lonely Planet, National Geographic, and the BBC back in 2009. So there's a good chance that I might get a copyright strike for showing this footage of me filming myself. But when I was actually in Burkina Faso, they just did like a montage of like, he was in the Burkina Faso, and they didn't really show that much of me being in Burkina Faso. So I hope to right that wrong right now. If I just have a look in these things to find it. I love stars and a flag. Yes, please do. I'm just gonna move that down to there. Okay, cool. Right, let's crack on with this then. I'm gonna have to put my headphones on. Luckily, there should be no recorded music on this, so hopefully YouTube will not cut my sound because that would suck. But yeah, let's have a look at this. Let's have a little look-see at my adventures, Graham's adventures in Thunderland. Okay, and there's me. All right, see how. So you're gonna have to give me a second just to get set up here. So if you just bear with me. If you want to give me a super chat, if you want to chat amongst yourselves, or send a super chat while I'm waiting. I'll get this set. Oh God, I knocked my glass over there. While I get this set up for everyone, which is something that I will do now. If I screencast that. Oh, what are you doing? Screencasting it from that screen. Screencast it from that screen. That's much better. Right, so that's me there. I think I'll change the Hughes of the World watermark so you can see. Oh no, actually I'll leave it. Yeah, I'll just go across to this still, and then I will let you see where I am on here. Let's have a look. I want to appear little in the corner of the screen, which I'm doing now. Hurrah, Ziban. Excellent. Right. Okay, so if I just fade across. Hello, everyone. I mean, there's Giant Graham here. Hello, Giant Graham. Hello, little Graham. Right, should we crack on with this then? Let me just get your messages up. So if anyone's giving me a super chat, I can say thank you. No, 2020 was impossible there. COVID. The Oxford 2/8 should be second 8 should start behaving themselves. I don't know what that means. This dog is far too comfortable on my bed, says Duke Vengeance. Yes, indeed. And between footage, bravo. Hi, Graham, says Shane. Hi, Shane. How you doing? And another roller coaster. Yes, many roller coasters. We love the roller coasters. Life's a roller coaster, isn't it? Let's just move these out of the way so that's not showing there. Put my elbow there. Because actually behind me is a couple of tripods in bags that I should move off my green screen, I think. Right, you ready for this? I'm going to skip through it, so I might skip some sections, but we can watch a little bit of it. Here we go. Oh no, we can't. Are you actually going to play? Are you just
to the border? Although Rocco's driver's sort of impinging on his ability to turn left and right.
Oh, I love the sound. I love that sound of wind on the camera. I'll just turn that off for you so you don't have to listen to it.
Those mountains you can see in the distance, they're Burkina Faso! Nearly there!
Woo! So this is on a back of a motorcycle heading towards the border. Got this giant hand behind me.
Travelling now across the border from Benin into
That's the border.
Burkina Faso.
That's the border there. That's the border. That's the river. That's the river that forms the border.
And that was it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Great.
The next border point's off for another 20 kilometres, so I've had to get a motorbike to take me. It's the only
Right,
way.
take me to the next bus stop. Decided to cross the border in style on the back of a motorbike with no helmet on. Brilliant. Bring it. Helmet, says Pineapple Boy. Well, they didn't give me a helmet. If you want a helmet in Africa, right, when you're on a motorbike, Rwanda, it's the law. Yeah. Otherwise, no, unfortunately not. What's that? Is that a glass? Oh, it is. Get rid of that. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. It's just showing bits of Burkina Faso. It's not so fascinating, so I'm going to skip it a little bit. Oh, baboons! Baboons! In the tree! Oh, get out of there, Graham. They'll rip your face off. Look at them. Little baboons. I think they're baboons. They look like baboons. They can be very vicious, you know. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so... Oh, there we go. Fada Nagorno. Which is the place where there's kind of like a crossroads if you're on your way to Niger, which I was at the time. And then this is me just talking about getting a visa, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. That's my minibus. We have about 50 people in it.
Okay.
No,
all aboard. Who's going aboard? Okay, me first or you? Okay,
me first.
Mossi.
Me first. Typical white shit. Me first. Come on.
Okay. All right. Well, this isn't as squishy as it was this morning. This morning was absolutely ridiculous when we were coming to the border. It was bananas. It was much more comfortable to be.
Right. There we go. In the minibus. Both in screen. With an American flag upside down. I love it.
Border back to Benin closes.
Oh, it's too noisy. This is just unedited footage. Yeah. Whoa, look at that! Frontier Niger, Frontier Benin.
Okay. 12 o'clock. I need to move quicker than that.
Yeah.
Leaving till 4. It's only 2 o'clock now, so we're going to have to wait here for a couple of hours at this crossroads place, Fada. There's the bus there. Yes, I'm still taking public transport, even though I could easily hire a car and just drive to the border and back in a couple of hours.
So you capture the balls?
I'm going to have to ring the cameraman and tell him that I'm not going to make it back tonight.
Oh dear.
In red.
I thought I could do
Very
a one-day
tasty.
journey.
So, I mean, mooching around here for the next couple of hours.
That's some bread.
Side of the road.
Bread and meat that I bought off the side of the road. It's covered in flies. Oh, look at this kid taking a picture of me. Oh, that's so cute.
I'm a legend in my own lunchtime. I did go the other way, some idiot. It's about 3 hours since the last... okay, it's about 3 hours since the last entry. There's no other way of getting to the border other than on these buses, which are here. It's nearly 4 o'clock now, so they should be leaving very soon. The problem is this, apparently there's bandits on the road, so all the buses running convoy, which means I might not be able to get back. Another problem is that it's actually a general election in Niger as well. But Niger doesn't really want me to go to it, by the way. It had an Independence Day yesterday and today, but tomorrow they're having an election. But hopefully I should be able to step over the border and then just come back. I can't get over the border properly because I don't have a visa for Niger.
True story. When I do my video on Niger, it's going to be very short. My footage. So this is on the bus.
Is Niger border?
The border.
Just had a
Niger.
But they've got an election on today. Milling about.
Election. I can't go across the border because the border's closed. It's elections. There's
Bonjour.
the moon. Big African moon. Oh, there's my lunch. There's my dinner. Sorry, that's my dinner. Omelette. Nice. Cooking in a cardboard
I'll
box.
just have your hands.
Literally cooking an omelette in a cardboard box. Bring it on. Flip it over. Fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Right, now put that in that. Omelette in the bun.
Merci. Merci me. Okay, I'm just getting a spot of omelette for din-dins because I'm hungry. Evolution will be at midnight.
Great commentary, Graham.
The border's shut. It won't open again until midnight.
Okay.
For me.
All right. Talking about the border here.
It takes 12 hours to get back to the capital. But I got chatting with a guy.
Right. Blah.
He's got my book that I was reading. He's got my laptop today.
Oh dear.
To go to the border.
Right. Okay. We're going to the border now at Niger, which doesn't really count
again,
for Burkina Faso. Hey! My driver. Terrible sound. Alright, okay. Right, here we go. Pancake. It wasn't a pancake. It wasn't a pancake. It was not a pancake. So this is on the road from Burkina Faso into Niger. And then here you can actually see the signs that tell you you're going into one or the other. Okay. There we go.
Okay. I am on the border of Niger over here, Republic of Niger, and over here we have
I actually did this.
Republic of Burkina Faso.
I didn't just do it on a green screen.
Which has the best name for a capital city in the world, which is Ouagadougou. Can't find. Oh well. There you go. So I am just crossing the border now into Niger. Okay.
Yes, Niger. Got a couple of pictures
Niger.
of myself.
Like it's a plan. Yeah.
In Niger, nice.
We're just going another half a kilometre down the road into Niger just to make damn sure we cross the border. Okay, we're making absolutely double.
Do you know what?
Double
It's bloody
sure
good.
that we're going to
bloody
do it.
good
Okay?
that I did this, because if I hadn't, when I checked the GPS the next day, I wouldn't have crossed the border.
If I'm not in Niger, I'll eat my hat. I really will. I'll be so angry. I'll at least stamp on it a little bit, like an angry gold prospector from an old cowboy movie. So this is what Niger looks like.
It is.
It looks a little bit like Burkina Faso, but that's okay. And there's some water over here, which is nice.
I should have gone for a swim in there.
Well, that was Niger. Allez, Burkina Faso.
Health and safety be damned. Right, heading back into Burkina Faso. That was my border hop. Oh, that's a great shot. I'm gonna show that again. I'll turn the sound off because that's quite obnoxious. But look at that. Coming up. That shot there. Burkina Faso. Woo! Yeah. I should use that in a compilation. I'm actually pointing out here that the road changes, the surface of the road changes when you cross the border. So I knew I was definitely in Niger. Because that was always a bit of a worry if I'd actually made it across a border or not. Because when there's no border point, like there isn't on that road, it's just a road, it can sometimes be a bit dicey. Anyway, so moving swiftly on. Thank you, Frederic, you absolute legend. And then headed into this cafe here.
Burkina Faso. In fact, he's the guy who changed the name from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, which means land of the honest men, or land of the incorruptible. He got to power in a coup. That's how you get to power in Africa. But the way he went about helping out Burkina Faso was amazing. I mean, he really, when these leaders say they're going to stamp down on corruption, he really did stamp down on corruption. And he did things like manage to get 60% of the children in the country inoculated against MMR and smallpox and stuff in a week, in this big drive to just get all the kids inoculated in the country. He incurred the wrath of the ruling classes by calling the rich thieves, which, let's face it, they are. Eventually there was a coup against him and he was taken out to the outskirts of Ouagadougou and shot. That was in about 1987, I think. But ever since, he's had a bit of a personality cult around him, and the leader who's been in since, Thomas Sank, who was involved in his execution, is he's tried to keep down this whole cult thing going. But what Thomas Sank did for Burkina Faso was make the country proud to be Burkina Faso, proud to be the land of incorruptible men. And I often talk about the power of semantics. You say to someone you're a bad man, so they'll act like a bad man. If you say this is the country of honest men, then it makes people think, you know what, I've got to be really honest now because this is the country of honest men, and if I'm not honest, then this isn't my country. It's very clever and a very simple thing to do. But yeah, that was the story of Thomas Sank. Thomas Sankara is known as Tom.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Honestly, he's in every cafe, everywhere you go, there's a fish shop.
So Bon Man.
Thomas Sankara.
Sankara.
Thomas Sankara died.
Yeah. He's a good man.
Me?
Bon hom. Good man.
Sankara.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they probably love
Yeah.
Thomas Sankara.
Thomas Sankara.
Me, I'm like Thomas Sankara. Where?
Yeah. I like Thomas Sankara. He's a good man. It says in my book, in my leaf, it says good man. Yeah.
Literally.
This book I've got here, it's the same book. But,
Come die. Burkina Faso.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And he changed the name to Burkina Faso. He called the country, the nom de la pays, Burkina Faso.
The Haute Volta.
Yeah, Upper Volta. And he,
Sankara come.
Yeah.
Say Burkina Faso.
yeah.
Burkina Faso is good for me. I like Burkina Faso. Well.
Yeah, I like it as well.
I like Thomas Sankara.
Yeah.
Thomas Sankara is good president.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Sankara.
One of the best things about travelling.
He was and it's just so
let's make it talk.
armed robberies on the road by modern day dicterpens.
Oh, me complaining about the bandits on the road. Sorry about that.
Okay, the road is open. We are going to Fada. I'm the oldest
It's
bus
so
in the
bumpy.
world. But we've been making friends. He's a hairdresser. He cuts hair for a living, so I've been teasing him with my hair. So yeah, we've got about 2-hour journey to Fada, and then another 2 hours to the border to go and meet with Rocco the cameraman, who I've just dumped at the side of the road like a common
Rocco was
ball.
my cameraman.
Except he's not rolled up in some carpet. Okay, I'm on a bus in Burkina Faso, and I met this guy whose name is Joseph, and he's from Liberia. He's deaf, and he's been teaching me some sign language. He's got an American sign language dictionary here.
So
far, I've learned the sign for Great Britain is to
language
grasp
from
your
Liberia.
right hand in your left hand and shake it about, because the British are supposedly great handshakers, which we are. And this is the sign for beer. And I think that's all I need to know. I just go around the world going, Great Britain, beer.
Doing it in the background.
Thank you. I'll learn some more, okay?
There's a woman there.
Cat walk by the militia.
That's cool. He's got one of these. Right.
So Joseph's
like
travelling with his
more
friend Andrew Raban.
12 years
He's
ago.
going to show me how to do. He's going to show me how. He's deaf as well, and he's going to show me how to do the American Sign Language for the entire alphabet. Do the alphabet.
Okay. Oh, we're getting the sign language to the alphabet. Brilliant.
Right, I've got to learn that before I get off the bus. I've only got now.
I did actually manage to learn the American alphabet. I can do the.
Okay, I've learned a ridiculous amount of sign language in the last hour. Now I've got to go. So see you. Goodbye. The guy's giving me Dugu. Be a bit hard to get here. On your fist, you gotta and shake it.
So moving on. That's the minibus.
Okay. So, I'm in Fada now, and Fada Ngoma, and we're at the crossroads of the country, really. And now I'm in a minibus, ready to go to the border. We're going to Porga,
That looks like
where
a phone
I'm going to meet the cameraman, Rocco. I thought the bus wasn't going to go till 7 o'clock. Oh, sorry, 5 o'clock today. It's only just turned 11. But apparently there's another bus over here, and they're going to get all the passengers off that bus and put them on this bus, and we're going straight away. Whole load of nothing.
Oh, there's the old tapes. There's the old tapes.
Big baloney.
West Africa. There's me filming myself.
It's little television. Hello, little television of me. Look, I'm on the telly. So we've got Jamaica here, Israel, Barcelona, Barca. We've got Chelsea, and we've also got Burkina Faso, Burkina. past what? First, we must be very surprised.
I'm sure there's one of the guys on the bus. So this is what Burkina Faso looks like. It's very flat. Quite dusty. This is in the top of the lakes and things.
No, it's good. With this, yeah, we just stopped again. This. No, I'll do it again. It's got more. Piebald. Bloody hell, we just stopped again. It's now 3:30 in the afternoon. I've been on this bus for about 3 hours now, and it's only got to go 100 kilometres down the bloody road. Oh, it's got more stops than a pipe organ. Hi.
J'habite in Liverpool. C'est un grand ville in Angleterre. Dans l'Angleterre. C'est un grand ville dans l'Angleterre.
Dans l'Angleterre.
Avec quitte the football. Quitte the football. Liverpool.
Liverpool.
For this guy. Liverpool.
Yeah, he's got a Liverpool shirt on.
C'est bon. C'est bon.
No, yeah,
it's Monville. Oh yeah, Sterling pounds. Yes. Yeah. À quelle heure nous arrivons à la frontière?
Oh God, shite French. I'm gonna have to skip that. That's just too embarrassing. A quelles heures arrivons Oh, baboons. Listen to the music. Skip through this.
Okay. Okay, this is the river that marks the boundary between Burkina Faso behind me and Benin. And we're going back into Benin now. So the driver would like to take me away. Off we go. Woo! Back into Benin! I nearly fell off then.
Right, so that's it for Burkina Faso. I'm just going to switch to the big camera. Just give me 1 second. Oh, what fun. Oh, what joy for every girl and boy. So I hope you enjoyed that little journey there to Burkina Faso. As soon as I saw how to get rid of this stupid thing. And then, yeah, you see I'm actually frozen. I'm frozen, Freddy. There we go. And then fade across. Okay, hello, I'm back in the room. Woo-hoo-hoo. Right, so that was it. That was really fun. That was fun for me, actually, just going back over some of the old footage there, because I haven't watched that for a very, very long time. I should keep up with this stuff. I should really make lots of videos of it and put it online so people can watch it. But there just ain't enough hours in the day. If someone wants to pay me to do it, after Graham's holiday snaps, yeah, we're quizzing tonight. Yes, we're quizzing tonight. We're going over to the Discord server after this. So there you go. It's an hour, isn't it? Epic stuff, says Mark. Graham, à quelle heure nous arrivons à la fontaine? A fountain? At the fountain? I don't know. Graham, you should have learned sign language for Boris is see you next Tuesday. Yeah, but it was in 2009. I was only barely aware of Boris Johnson's existence. Although I have to say, at the end of the 2008 Olympics, I was in Australia, right? And I was watching the close down ceremony of the Chinese Olympics, the Beijing Olympics, right? And there's this big stadium. It was the Bird's Nest Stadium, and it had the Xi Jinping, the Winnie the Pooh who runs China, and he was there, and he gave the Olympic flag to Boris Johnson because Boris Johnson was the mayor. It might not have been. It might not have been Xi Jinping because it might have been just the mayor of Beijing. Maybe it was the mayor of Beijing. I don't know. Somebody, right, gave the flag to Boris Johnson. And Boris Johnson was standing there looking like an unmade bed, as he always does. And I just remembered then, 2008, right? I just cringed. 13 years ago this summer, I just cringed so hard that my back has never been right since. That's how much I cringed, because I was watching it with people who weren't from Britain. And they were just like, who's that? And I went, oh, that's the mayor of London. And they were like, what? Why? And I'm like, I have honestly no idea. I think people think he's funny. You know, like the way that people think Mrs. Brown's Boys is funny. Yeah, like that. Anyway, Veg Pie, super chat, £2. Yay, thank you for sharing your experience and videos. And Alex Morgan, woo, £20. Not a bribe for the Quizmaster. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up here now. So I hope you've learnt a little bit about Burkina Faso today. Like I say, I loved it there. The experience that I had, I was only there for 2 days, but the experience I had was really positive. The people that I met were really, really lovely and kind, generous, and sound like many people I met traveling around the world. And again, I've stressed this, you can't judge people by the actions of their government. You just can't. So, unfortunately, Burkina Faso has become a hotbed of terrorist activity over the last 5 or 6 years, which is heartbreaking, and hopefully it ends soon. But if our countries hadn't gone over on daft military adventures at the beginning of the millennium to these places, none of this might have happened. There's another parallel dimension, a sliding doors dimension, where everyone in the Sahel is living in peace and harmony. And there aren't 1.2 million people needing assistance right now. I got a reminder on Facebook today of a post I made in 2008 saying, I want to punch the clown Boris Johnson in the face. Yeah, Lee. Yeah. Duke Vengeance, the only French I know is from playing Britana in Warhammer, and that isn't much. James O'Brien voted for Johnson. Shows you private education isn't up to much. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, doesn't teach you that much. Doesn't teach you to be a good judge of character. Let's say that. Okay, so I am going to head off now. But before I do, I'm going to get the Discord server up and running. So if you want to follow this link, obviously if you've already been on Discord, you should just be able to open the app and get taken across. But if you haven't, and you want to jump over there, we're going to do a quiz. I've got questions here somewhere. Here they are. I've got questions for the quiz. So if you want to join us for that, you are very, very welcome. Don't be scared. Don't be intimidated. You don't need to have your video on, and you don't even need to say anything if you don't want to. You can just type things into the voice chat, a bit like you're doing now. Brilliant. So head over to the and then invite people. Sorry, my computer's running really slow. Have you read the super chats? Yeah, nice. Not a bribe for the Quizmaster. Thank you for sharing your experience and videos. Do get the book, and that's it. I've only got 3 that I can see. If there's any more, you'll have to send them again because they mustn't have gone through. Right, 6 hours. Generate new link. Right, this link will self-destruct after 6 hours. So just be aware of that possibility. Sorry, must have missed them, Sets Lee. He's always been a nasty person. Be careful. Remember the story of Tar Baby in Brer Rabbit. I don't actually know that. Brer Rabbit. When he was mayor, he was somewhat different to now. Still a clueless Berk, admittedly. Indeed. Burkina Faso was cool. I like that. Big applause, guys. You. Thank you very much, David. Conga time, yay! Well, no, we're not up to the Conga. We're not up to the Congo even. Next week I would be doing Burma if it was still called Burma, but apparently they've changed the name and it's now not called Burma anymore. It's called Myanmar. So I'm going to skip a country and head straight to Burundi in Central Africa. Now, again, it's not going to be a particularly happy story in Burundi, especially given the light of events in the last 25 years. But please do join me for that and learn something about this tiny little nation just to the south of Rwanda in the middle of Africa. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. As I say, if you want to become a patron of my stuff, head over to patreon.com/ThatGingerScouser. Or if you can't be asked doing that, just hit the join button below me and you can join my channel. And it costs about £4 a month or something, and that money goes to me. Yay! Which is good. Boris might as well have an arcade dance machine on his grave. Yes, Duke, we're going to do that. We're going to make a Dance Revolution game on his. That's the plan. Andy McAvoy is here. Way, Andy McAvoy. Are we having a quiz tonight? How does it work? Well, Andy, the answer is it doesn't work. Like my attempts to cover up the fact that I left my tripod leaning against my green screen behind me. Some go away things behind me. Let's tidy this up. I don't know. I'm just going to ask questions, and I think Jeremy's going to be there, and he's going to ask some questions as well. So yeah, we're just going to ask some questions and see if people can jump in. Boris Johnson is like tar baby. He ignored Brer Rabbit when he greeted him. He was a trick made out of straw and tar. Brer Rabbit punched him and got stuck badly. Boris Johnson does have a very punchable face. But that's nothing to do with Burkina Faso. Anyway, Burkina Faso, capital, Ouagadougou, and a really lovely place, really lovely people, and I'd like to go back there when things settle down. One of my biggest regrets about my journey to West Africa is that I never got a chance to go to Timbuktu. The reason being is I came across the border from Senegal and went to Bamako, the capital of Mali. And Mali's a very tall country. And obviously Timbuktu's right in the north. It's in the Sahara Desert. And I wish I'd gone. I wish I'd just taken a day off and just gone up there, well, a couple of days off, and gone up there and seen it for myself, because terrorists in the mid-2010s destroyed a lot of the old mud temples that used to be in Timbuktu, unfortunately. So they're not coming back. But I kind of say like, oh, all these places, they're not going anywhere. I can always go back. But sometimes you can't go back. Unfortunately. Andy McAvoy says, okay, I know everything. I'm like a human Wikipedia on steroids. Okay, that's upping yourself somewhat, but I'll allow it. It's cool. So if you want to join me tomorrow for Hughes Round, it starts at 1:00. Otherwise, head over to the Discord server using the link that I've put into the chat there. And until next time, thanks for watching. Fair winds and following seas, traveller.